Hi, it's me, INFP. And I was sitting by the library and I was taking the free Wi-Fi, but there were people talking over there, so I came and sat here instead. I'm wearing my frog hat, and I've got my new Tangle that I bought online. It's pretty fun to play with. At first I was like not really liking it because it really goes apart pretty easily. I bought the classic junior type, and so you can't be really, if you go like that, then it just splits, you can't be rough with it. But I do like that, I do like that I can go like this with it. That's pretty soothing. Well, of course the chorus is not very soothing. And then I can also like wrap it up into a little ring kind of thing. Let's see if I can do this. I can wrap it up into a little thing like that. I actually managed to find a way to get it to wrap around itself there, like that. And it's really handy. I can just like hold it in one hand and go and do like this with it. I also bought a squishy banana kind of fidget toy, but it was really sticky, so I don't know if I really like it. I like stretching it because it has like sand in it. So maybe it wasn't really a great purchase, but I tried. This Tangle thingy is actually pretty nice. It took me like the whole day yesterday to like get used to this. I just brought it with me and I decided, let's see how this works. And it's actually really nice to have. So that's what I'm playing with underneath the camera. I fixed a little bit things with my boss yesterday. I went to his office and I cleared some things up. I told him, I asked him about the incident that I was telling you guys about him not listening to my advice, and then he explained that it was kind of like he couldn't really do anything about it, that it was actually a decision that he made not alone but with the whole leadership group. So, but I wish that he had told me beforehand, instead of me like going around grumbling about it. I wish that he had answered my email and just said, after much deliberation with the rest of the leadership, we decided that this would be a good idea to implement because we've taken into account your perspective and everybody else's perspective. Instead, he just left my message unread pretty much, and when I took up my point of view he did a few months ago when we were deciding about things, he basically kind of dismissed my opinion as kind of like things will fix themselves, basically. So yeah, it kind of sucks. There's a person who's watching me, so that's kind of embarrassing, making a video out here. So I'm glad that he finally explained his position and what had happened. I came in there and I also like kind of apologized for creating drama because that wasn't my intention. But I didn't apologize for my stance, that it's important that you listen to the underdogs as a boss. And that is something that I'm passionate about. And I think that INFPs have a keen sense of justice. There is a kind of idea out there that autistic people have a strong sense of justice about like unfairness and such. because they're less into like social norms, right? But I think that the same goes for INFPs, especially because INFPs have their FI as their first function. So I think that we do have a keen sense of justice. Maybe we don't like make very convincing arguments, but when we do take up a cause or fight for something, we have thought a lot about it often, and also we feel deeply about that certain thing, and we don't usually voice our opinion unless we think very strongly about it. Now, how an INFP will do it will be in different ways. Some people will volunteer, and some will, get engaged politically, and some people will, make art to show their causes, or some people will take in animals into their homes, or, because we see and feel keenly the unfairness towards underdogs. I think that autistic people have this as well. I think that we are less aggressive than maybe an ISFP would be about convincing others of their stance is the only stance. It's neither good nor bad to be aggressive about it. Sometimes I wish that I could be a little bit more aggressive about my points rather than like waffling around. Well, we can't really do anything about that. I understand now why it was the autistic nurse who came to comfort me when I had this conflict at my workplace, because I think that she sees herself in me a little bit, even though she doesn't know that I'm probably autistic. I think that she could see that I'm genuine, and I am for the quiet people, the ones who don't speak loudly. And the fact that everybody else kind of agreed with what I was saying, except for my boss and certain doctors who didn't really know what I was talking about. Okay, well, right. These are the last weeks of school, and it's warm outside, so lots of teenagers are really they're really annoying. Let's just say that. Like, I understand that they don't mean harm, but like, they could have the music and have the windows closed. They can have the music loud if they want to, but sometimes I get annoyed by people. Anyway, so I think that it is important to know that INFPs have a strong sense of justice, autistic people as well. We might not be the best at communicating our points, especially to like censor and like thinker kind of people, because our arguments are so based in feelings, which isn't considered a good basis to base your opinions on. You're supposed to base them on facts only, and only be logical and rational. But the truth is, a lot of our opinions are dictated by our personal experiences, our biases and such, and I try not to be biased, but I do have certain opinions that are more important to me than others. I do have certain values that I really do not want to encroach upon. Such as, I believe in fairness, I believe in listening to everyone's opinion before making a decision, which can be against my favor, because I make a decision on my own. I sometimes feel like I need to involve everybody else. So I'm going away from that. But I mean, when I'm thinking about decisions, I'm meaning decisions that impact other people should be made together with them, you know? And that's the case at my workplace. So I think that's... Okay, so yeah, people playing like early 2000s music, that's like, that's retro nowadays. I'm so old. Anyway, it's here in Sweden, you can purchase these cars as like a 16-year-old that you don't need a license for. In Sweden you need to be 18 to have a driver's license for a car. But if you have a motorcycle license at 16, then you can buy a certain type of car. And crazily enough, those kinds of cars are actually less secure cars, less safe cars than normal cars. Like, I don't understand how they thought that that was a good idea. But those are... it's the same cars. I always see them around town, so I know where these people live, you know? But yeah, sorry for the distraction. I'm getting very distracted by people. Oh, there's a bird. Okay, I also get distracted by birds. There was a squirrel this morning who came to eat. He wanted to eat my food, I think, but then he left. I took a nice picture of him. I'll maybe put that picture as the cover of this. I tried cleaning my house, but my house is it's kind of a mess right now because I just like threw things all over the place, and it took a lot of my energy. So I haven't done any reading today, but I have my books to read, and I haven't really been relaxing like I thought I would. Okay, it's just I keep getting... Now it's like the church bells ringing. Huh. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to say was that when you get an autism diagnosis, it's kind of like you had a hidden disability the whole time, and you don't really know how to deal, because suddenly you start realizing a lot of things, and by trying to unmask, you can have something called skill regression, where things that you used to be able to do, you suddenly can't do. And I don't have an official diagnosis, but knowing that I am quite possibly autistic kind of has led me to realize how difficult my life was, because of sensory issues and because of social issues that I didn't realize before. And so now I'm realizing, like, oh wow, during this patient visit I was having a hard time maintaining eye contact. Oh wow, during this patient visit I realized that I was monitoring my posture, and that made me feel really like restless. Or, oh, while I was talking to my boss, I had to say certain expected replies rather than like actually say the truth, which took a lot of my energy to pretend and kind of lie. And I've realized all sorts of things. I can't fully unmask at my job because I want to keep my job, you know, but I'm trying to unmask a little bit at least. Sorry, I don't really understand motorcycles either, because they make too much noise. A lot of people are going out on their motorcycles because it's like one of the few days that they actually can when it's sunny outside. where was I? I was thinking about scale regression. So now I'm like, using my tangles outside in public. I'm using things in public, and that is quite a lot, and I realize how much it's helping me. And I realize what things I used to be able to do without thinking about it, and now I realize that, wow, these things are taking so much energy, and that's why I'm doing less well now than when I first found out that I had autism. It's just like, it's kind of like it's a thing that can happen, and it happens for late diagnosed autistic adults, where you might have performed something really, really well before, and then like you regress, you suddenly can't do this certain thing, and then you realize that these things actually took a lot of energy out of you, and so yeah, it's kind of hard to go through my work right now. It is kind of sad though, because I think that if I didn't work, I would be able to like feel okay with going down on my medication. But because I'm working and I need to keep up this facade, and like I know that people are nice in the comments and are saying like, no, you don't need to keep a facade, like let your anger out. Actually no, because I do want to keep my job. My job is kind of the thing that is keeping me alive right now. Because that's my family kind of is, my real family lives very, very far away. And my work colleagues are kind of my family in this town. I don't know many other people in this town. And they help me in other ways outside of work. So I really need this job, and going down on my medication is not, it's kind of awful to think of this way, but I need this medication to work. And it's like, it's kind of like you're forced into it, it's like capitalism forces me to be masked, and forces me to expend a lot of energy, and forces me to rely on antidepressants, as much as I, there are some people who want to picnic here, and they're watching me making a YouTube video, which kind of sucks. I don't like people watching me. I do not want to be perceived. I don't know if I've told you guys about the mortifying ordeal of being known. Well, there's also the mortifying ordeal of being perceived. I hate being perceived outside in the world, which is kind of a little bit social anxiety, or I don't have agoraphobia, but I imagine that it would be kind of similar. It's like I'm sitting here and I get a lot of anxiety from somebody else watching me, or somebody else being able to see me, and that's why it's stressful for me to do my runs. I tried running this morning, but I had to go back home because there was somebody there, and I don't like having somebody there. So I'm going to try to run tomorrow morning, early in the morning, because I need to fit in at least one run until the actual run, the race that is next Thursday. It's always the same motorcyclist. It sucks. It's terrible. Okay. And so, yeah, that's all I had to say. I need to tell my boss about my autism and ADHD, but I think that maybe I'll do so once I get the time in Stockholm. My boss promised me that he'd have, he told me first of all that I'm valuable, which I'm grateful that he said that. He does not really know. I asked him, like, can you, I think that it's important that you show that you're listening, you know, because otherwise it seems like I say things in the void, and it just takes a lot of energy for me to voice my opinion. And he was like, well, keep voicing your opinion, even though it takes energy. And it's like, it doesn't work like that, you know. I'm glad that he wants me to voice my opinion, but at the same time, he does not see how much energy that takes me. And also, he doesn't understand that I don't require like a nice words of affirmation. Like, it was great that he told me that I am valuable, and it's great that he says that he's going to listen to me in the future. But what I really want is for him to actually like reply to my emails when I have a problem, or actually like say that he'll take my consideration into account, or like, you know, he's an ENTJ, so of course his FI is last, so of course he's not going to be like the best listener, and he really wants to do quick fixes, but I think that it's important that he shows some kind of appreciation in the way that he can, you know, and it doesn't take that long to write up a reply to my email, just saying, okay, I am taking this into consideration, we'll discuss it with the others in leadership, you know, rather than like ignoring me and then saying that he can't do anything. I just need somebody to clearly tell me what is going on and why my consideration was not followed, why my opinion was overridden by some other opinion, because, like, okay, it makes sense, I get that, but it does not make sense to just like dismiss me because I am me, you know, because I don't speak loudly, or because my voice trembles when I speak, or if I cry whenever I say my opinion. So I hope that he got the message and that things will improve. I am proud of myself for going and talking to my boss in the first place, because that really scares me. I'm glad that I voiced my opinion, that I was brave enough to say things, that I am fighting for justice for all, that I am there for people who can't speak, that I have such a keen sense of justice and fairness. Oh god. I do dislike my sensory sensitivities, but it's kind of like the INFPs in the workplace, or the autistic people in the workplace, the people who are neurodivergent are kind of like the canaries in the coal mine. If you, like, we might seem weaker than the others, but being able to voice out is like the alarm bells for others to realize that, oh yes, these conditions are not good. And since we're the first to feel these problems, we can be the first to warn about these problems, and we can make the workplace better for everyone. Yeah, that's what I had to say. I also, there was a colleague of mine during that meeting who was like, oh, but we don't need to find fault in anyone, you know, this is just unluckiness, you know, it's just how things went. It's like, yeah, no, but sometimes we need to actually fix the problem. Sometimes we can't just keep the peace, and that's where FI comes in. FE wants to keep the peace, but FI is like, no, this is wrong, we need to talk about it and do something about it. Otherwise, you're cultivating a culture of silence. And I think that FI is very good at pointing things out that affect people. And this is what heals people as well. And as the INFP healer that we are, we want things that are healing for the people around us. We're not there to like just make people quiet. So yeah, that's what I think about that. I am very grateful for that colleague who raised her hand to say that I had something to say at the meeting, because that kind of proved my point. I did thank her for that. She thanked me for standing up for myself. I talked to some other colleagues who weren't at the meeting, like the nursing assistants. They weren't at the meeting because this was for the nurses and the doctors only. I talked to the secretaries, and they were like, we see you and we see your problems, so we value you even if you feel like you're not valued by like the leadership. And I was very thankful for that. It felt like I was fishing for compliments, but it wasn't. I wasn't like demanding people to compliment me. It was just, I felt I was just creating drama and such, but really it was people out of the goodness of their hearts. They wanted me to know that I am valued and appreciated, and they felt sad when I was sad. And even my boss, apparently when I left the room, my colleagues saw that he was really in distress, because I was crying and leaving the room. That kind of makes a statement. And I do have a position of power in the fact that without me, a lot of problems would arise if I stopped working my job. So I do have power that I'm often silent, but I do have possibilities of changing my situation. The only thing I need to become better at voicing my needs, understanding what could help me, what my needs are, and voicing them up to my boss. That's what I need to do. So yeah, that's it for now. So have a great day.